Hey, we're talking Janet Jackson's pregnancy at 50, Amber Rose's new talk show, all that and more on Black Hollywood Lives this week.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
She's looking at you.
What's up, everybody? We were just gonna dance, keep dancing for a second. Did she not dance?
Just looking at us like,
She didn't dance.
Rachel, give us the Janet video.
Yeah, give us the Janet. You got the Janet hair. Give us the Janet.
oh, there it is.
The hair. There you go.
She always got Jan in the pocket.
Get the Janet hair. Hey. Uh-oh.
I just lasso.
I see you, girl. I see
Just
you.
lasso. This always works. I know you watching. It's just a face you make.
How Justin hires it.
Right.
Oh, there we go.
There you go. Vogue it out. Vogue it out.
Oh my God.
You're watching Black Hollywood Live this week. I'm Derrial Christon. You can see I'm with my crazy friends right now. Joining us today is Rachel True.
That's the hardest part of the show for me, the dancing.
You're getting better with the dancing. You're getting better with the dancing.
You're
for
making
real.
me so tense.
I'm so intense right now. DJ Jesse J.
What's up?
Courtney Stewart.
What's up, y'all?
And we got a very special guest today. I'm gonna call him our East Coast brother. We got Jeremy Hassell in the house today.
Where?
And GossipTV.com.
Where? He's here?
He's here in the house with his purple suit.
Maroon, my brother. Maroon.
I would actually say
I'm feeling
plum.
that.
I would go
Yeah, plum. I'm gonna go plum.
That's what I meant to say. It was plum.
I'm gonna go plum.
You look like a man who'd look good in an Oscar Boateng suit. Do you know who he is?
Oh, he's
you
incredible.
would rock his colors because he's wearing a fabulous suit for
Yeah.
those of you who are not
Thank you
watching.
so much for the love. And
Like
Oscar, if you're listening, you know you can mail that.
Send it out, brother. Send it on out.
That's right. Listen, you need to customize your own suits and create them, right? You know,
Boom,
start a new
right?
brand.
Yeah.
All right, well, it is Cinco de Mayo. We don't have margaritas.
I'm so disappointed in you,
know
Mr.
what?
Tequila.
You know what? You're right.
So disappointed
You're right.
in you. Like,
How
I
could
just
this
knew
is the day
you were
I
going to
would
do
come
it.
with
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
much like the presidential candidate Trump, I too love the
Did you eat a
Hispanics
Mexican
for
bowl?
tacos. That is literally the most offensive thing
Yeah, that was
I've
pretty
ever
wild.
seen
Well,
on the
he just
interweb.
said I love them too. Like, but I also enjoy my Mexican bowl
But also not
from
even-
my hotel.
Not even a taco.
Let
a
me
taco
eat it.
bowl, and then a friend of mine looked it up. They don't even have taco bowls on the Trump restaurant. Just FYI.
Well, that's funny because his son was on CNN talking about, I just had a taco bowl too and it was delicious. And I love it. I eat it all the time. You lying?
It's probably Dean cooking those up in the kitchen.
Lying. Just
I'm sorry
lying.
I hijacked that, but I just had to give a shout out to the weirdest presidential candidate tweet
I
I've
mean,
ever
that was a
seen.
pretty bad
He
tweet.
is
But
the
nothing surprising me
presumptive
about him at this point. All right, we're going to get into these topics today, starting off with DJ Jesse J.
All right, y'all. So there was a hashtag going around called Airbnb while black. 23-year-old Corita Crittenden. Sorry, girl.
You tried, boo.
I want to know how to really say
He even slowed down for it. I appreciate it.
Cortina.
Yes.
Cortina.
Crittenden. All right, girl. But anyways, so she's a business consultant, and she started this hashtag because she noticed that she started getting denied when she would try to rent a space, and she would get a lot of like, oh, it's already taken. She'd scroll back the next day and be like, still not taken, like, hey. So she created a fake account where it was a cityscape picture, and she shortened her name to Tina. And she got requested for every single apartment that she had put out for. So it started Twitter, her black Twitter, to go ham and start this Airbnb while being black, and everyone was kind of showing all the excuses that they get. So they did a study and basically come to find out that there are different names, like a Tamika gets picked more than a Turquita. Like, it's like the longer, more intense
The more
names
ethnic your name sounds, they assume that you're black and they don't want to rent it to you.
and that white
And black people too.
and white hosts will, instead of, they'll lose out on the money basically versus renting out to someone of color.
I mean, we're not surprised by this, right? We had this conversation on the show about the names when you're getting a job. Remember the whole thing where they look at a resume and if it's a certain name, they throw out the resume or don't even accept you in for the job interview.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're going to do an Airbnb.
But what was sad about that too, though, is that it wasn't just white hosts; it was black hosts also that will deny black-sounding names. I mean, I'm not surprised, but it's still sad.
Well,
Like,
listen
it
to the statement you made.
sucks.
That's so powerful. Is that something that, as a culture, society, we need to take a second before we name our kids the first thing that comes to our mind?
Or do we need to accept that there are many, many, many different names from many, many, many different cultures, which all sound weird to a foreign. You know, if you're a Middle Eastern name that sounds completely foreign, it's going to sound different. We're not used to that. Maybe it's a more global world.
You guys, though, but like, let's just think of the mental stability of these people who, okay, you're gonna let Tina, who has clearly issues if her profile picture is a cityscape. Like, you don't know who this person is. You're gonna allow this person to come stay at a house versus.
Well, you don't know them any more than you know Cortina.
I mean, I feel you, but I'm just like, it's just kind of crazy to me. It's just.
I think again, what's interesting about these times going on right now is that all of this racism is coming to the forefront. We're discussing it in a way that we haven't before, and things like this are getting in the news the next day instead of, again, a couple months or weeks lead time for a newspaper or a magazine, and it's good that we're finding out. We already know this, though.
Correct. But the conversation needed to come out.
I'm going to be honest with you.
But I do hope my white liberal friends are listening.
Well, listen, if I had Airbnb, which is a great business to get into, because I had a friend who was making double her her work money for the year, I would not discriminate against anybody because a check is a check. You could be Lucretia, Octavia, you could be Jill. I don't give a damn. Give me the green. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy to me that people are doing that, but I'm not surprised. You know.
Should we all go after Airbnb for this? Are they responsible?
I don't think it's Airbnb.
No,
I don't think they're responsible for it. I think it's individual choices.
Because you have your own way of how you market.
You get to determine how and who gets
But this is their business, and we're talking about their name and
what do you say, question asker?
I just asked a question.
I know that. I'm on to you already.
I'm here to ask questions. I'm saying
no
I want to know what you
Opinion,
think.
sir. You're here for your opinion.
Well, I think if you're involving anything in your business, you have to have some kind of accountability. Now, if there's an issue that's making major news or whatnot, instead of them not saying anything or getting involved, maybe they need to make a different survey or study and seeing what's going on with each of these people. They should even spotlight certain people and find out.
Yeah.
Do some investigative, like that TV show where they had the guy like what would you do? You know what I mean? Or like the Predator guy. Like they set people up. We got to do that with Airbnb.
I agree.
I shouldn't have said that. That's a reality show. I can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
But they don't. There's no value in that for them because as long as they're making money, it's irrelevant to them. So it's our decision to continue to support the Airbnb brand by continuing to look for these places or whatever. But even in not doing that, it's not actually doing that much because we weren't getting the rooms anyway. So it's sort of that rock and a hard place. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? I have no idea, but I'm not going to do Airbnb.
But it's also not just Airbnb. I mean, trying to rent a place, and you're going to run into the same problems as well. So I think making it about Airbnb is sort of beside the point.
Yeah, that's true. Because even like eBay, you're not like, if you're a big person that sells your stuff on eBay and you're a person of color, it's recommended that you don't actually show like your own hand holding the stuff. Like, because if you're less likely to have your items purchased if your black hand is in the picture.
But you know what? That's
true.
I sold a really expensive TV show top on eBay and some shoes, right? And my white friend was over, and I said, "Put your white feet in these shoes."
Damn
because
right.
I don't want to.
That's the statement of the day.
incredible
Put your white feet in these shoes.
I was like, I don't want to rule out. I don't want to rule out the racist's money for you want to buy these shoes for an insane amount of money. I don't care.
So you're saying that you feeding into the problem, it's okay because you can.
No,
pay
you're
for it?
saying I'm feeding.
She just quit. I tried.
She got it.
You are quick.
Okay.
I know you.
She's working in the system.
Now I feel bad for my white friend Lucretia because she ain't never gonna be able to get Airbnb. She doesn't like her own name.
I'm sorry, Cree.
Sorry, Lucretia.
She needs to name herself Lulu or Apple or Cheese.
Or
and
get
maybe
that profile picture.
All right.
So on the other flip side of that, something kind of similar, well, in a different sense, but so 17-year-old Tasia Jones, she went to prom. She bought this dress that she was obsessed with. She went, took a bunch of pictures, a video of her went up. She said it was the best night of her life. She woke up the next morning to social media dragging her, saying she looks like precious, she's overweight, she looks too fat to be in this dress, just dragging her.
Ooh, where? Everywhere?
Yeah, like it was everywhere.
was viral.
That is horrible to do to another human being.
She came out and it was just, she said it was crazy because that was one of the best nights of my life, and to have that night turn into such a hurtful experience.
So
she said
sad.
it also, seeing all those things, and it changed how I view myself.
Oh.
Because you thought you were beautiful and like having your great night, and then you're being told by all these
But
people.
that doesn't make it. I hope she's not watching, but I wish she was, because whatever those people say, that has nothing to do. Your feelings are where everything starts too. How you feel about something, that's how you create fabulous things in your life. And you feeling fabulous that night, hold on to that. Hold on to that.
This is a great lesson learning moment, okay, in life. We're all gonna get knocked down and pushed up, okay, in certain situations. And this one, I'm not happy at all about her feelings being hurt and her changing her view of herself. But she needs to know. She has to keep it 100 real though of what people are thinking of her.
Absolutely.
Because you need to know what the world sees you as, but it doesn't matter as much as what you think of yourself. But being aware is what separates good from great. Her being the best version of herself, going, I know how people perceive me, but I know how I perceive me will change, will dictate, the levels of where she's gonna go in her life. I hope she takes this and goes, okay, because all the successful people have haters. Sweetheart, there's going to be haters. If you're watching, I hope you do watch. Let them hate. That means they're watching. You know what I'm saying? Give them something else to talk about.
You're right about that, because like yesterday was the anniversary of a movie I was in, and a few sites went out of their way to pull up pictures from me from when I was like literally fat, sick, and nearly dead, and just out of the hospital with a surgery. Okay. Now that was 5 years ago, so you went out of your way to find the awful, god-awful pictures when there's plenty of good ones since then. But it was like, thank you in a way, because it was a reminder, because I know where I was and I know where I am now, so that doesn't hurt me at all. Those pictures don't hurt me at all, but I am not a 17-year-old girl. If I was 17 or 16, I would be crushed.
That's
crushed to the ground.
Let me ask you guys a question though, and I'm not trying to sound like an asshole with this, but if,
you already do.
Here we go. No, but if you see a picture, right, and I'm not talking about this picture in particular, but if you see something and your mind goes into kind of being critical on that picture, is that
you have to work on something internally?
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Agreed.
Because
right? Expand.
There is times where I think that everybody can relate to this. That you look at a picture at some point and your first instinct is to not say something nice. You may not say it, but you think it. Yeah. And if you are thinking it, isn't it just as bad as saying it or not saying it?
Okay, look, we're all human. You're all gonna see things. Granted, okay, I'm coming from a perspective that I just did a fashion show, so we were talking about what people, and there's always the argument like, do you get to talk about these women on the red carpet, and why do you get to say whatever you think and criticize what they're wearing and that kind of stuff? Like, we're all human. We're all visual. Well, not all of us, but those of us that are visual and can see and make judgments based on what we see. Like, yes, you see it, but you aren't speaking your negativity into somebody else's spirit and life on just to be cruel and being mean.
I don't condone that at all.
That's not to say, like, if I see Rachel and I'm like, damn, she got a lot of curly hair. If that's my first thought, like, I don't want to just say, damn, why is your hair so curly? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, it's an observation. You filter, and you learn how to speak to people because you're respectful and you would like that in return.
Well, this brings me to a deeper issue. I'm just thinking right now, it's a good point you brought up. I think the social media and all the bullying and everything, what's up with the accountability? Because, there is none, right?
Hide behind their
but how do you do that? Because we create a world where we sit up here and gossip and talk about the Kardashians and talk about all these people, so we allow the kids at home to do it because it's like, well, this is the culture that we live in.
Don't you think people should have to use their real name on the internet? Because if you had to leave your real name under these comments, you would get fired from your job, your relatives would come at you, so I do believe that's why there's so many trolls.
And I think you just cracked the code. I never thought to that extent.
No, but really, like, if you had to put Rachel True under some horrible thing.
And your picture.
You would think.
Your real picture, not your catfish picture. Your real picture. Not your catfish.
He already called you out on your catfish. You and your catfish.
But
not that one.
And I agree with what you're saying, because, like, I'm a big health advocate, and I feel better in my body when I'm smaller, and I could look at her and go, well, this and that and that. But what I know is that has nothing. She has nothing to do with me, first of all. So why would I spend time? I don't comment on people's stuff, weird stuff on the internet, because I have my own life.
Right.
So that's the other thing I wish she knew, that the people typing, it's because they're probably sitting in their underwear in a basement, or maybe they're sitting in a luxurious mansion, but they have nothing going on.
Yeah. Well, with the kids though, like, they're sitting next to her in the classroom, they're walking down the hallway, so that's with kids. I feel like it's another whole
I mean, prom.
I wouldn't want to be in high school now.
No, it's
social media.
That's social media because it doesn't stop.
No.
And the problem is that the kids, when they're getting bullied, that really makes me upset. Is that if you ever talk to kids that might get bullied, they're scared to even tell their parents about it because a lot of their parents will take the phone away or be like, oh, they'll blame them for it, right? Yeah. So it comes down to maybe the schools need to intervene in a different way. I'm just trying to propose solutions.
I wish that Facebook wasn't available for kids. I really think that, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I think you should be 18 and older because look, think about all the girls out there and boys stalking their fellow classmates online.
But
think
also
about
it's
what
also connecting them. It's like a pen pal.
Yeah, but I also feel like for people who want to post sexually explicit things, I don't understand, like, okay, in the 90s we were able to put parental advisory on CDs. Why can't Instagram accounts or Facebook accounts, they have to be locked? You have to be a certain age in order to watch. Like,
or that,
like
you're right, they have to be locked unless you're over 18.
I personally feel like there are certain people out there who are role models and whatnot, but yeah, like back in the 90s, Netgear, you had certain Net Nanny that would block.
You brought it back.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like,
were you in your Commodore 64?
You know what I'm saying? I used to put my AOL. But I just feel like we've ran away from any type of boundaries, any type of moral standards, and I think that that's where we need to bring the root back. But the internet's so new, and we're getting used to it.
I don't think we ran away from it. I think that the technology grew exponentially, and our policy, our understanding of it was not as rapid. So I feel like we're still playing catch up, and it's a difficult, I don't want to say impossible, but the way technology grows, it's on a different
We're still in the infancy of us dealing with the internet.
Because even as adults, I think actually our generation may be the first generation that probably pulls it off.
Thank you for including me in your generation. Very much appreciate that.
Just because we've been on, we were on the crux of when it started to change, but we are also accustomed to how it exists. But those that came before us were only in it, you know what I'm saying? So they're still too removed from it. We still live in it, but also remember what it was like before or know what it was before. So I feel like it's going to take our sort of growth to continue to fix that situation, which means there's civilian casualties along the way.
Well, maybe Justin Bieber can fix it. Girl.
Did they make a meme out of her, or it was just she posted it on her Instagram people?
It was comments and.
It was on Instagram, but then the picture started going around with comments.
You've seen the other one where it's the girl and she's just sitting on the bench like this, and then they put all these different hair. It's just what it is, and it's crazy. Because here in LA, my friend, she goes out all the time, and she was like, Jesse, what is it with these clubs and putting mentally challenged people on the flyers? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
What do you mean?
No, this is a real thing. So the D's Nuts guys?
Yeah.
So it's they find people like him, or the guy from that news clip with the green hair and. Do you remember that one? I forget what he said. Something about McDonald's or something.
Oh, yeah.
So they take people like that, or that just, and they put them on flyers, and they put them up in a club, and they put them in a VIP. They give them a bottle, and they make a spectacle of it. And it's just okay, I look at it okay, you're giving this person the night of their life, but at what expense? You're doing it
out of mockery. It's not out of honest kind of.
And I feel but it comes down to the check too. If they're getting paid for that appearance, if they're enjoying it, it comes down if they know what's going on.
I'm just saying, this is the world we live in, and it's just crazy. It's really crazy. You can't post nothing without someone zooming in and finding something.
With it. But it's just life, I guess.
The other thing I wanted to say about this picture, it's I used to take pictures of myself when I was losing weight, and my
I was where's this going?
No,
we're talking about children.
Where's this going right now?
No, I did take them naked, by the way, because I was like, you gotta look, you gotta see what it looks like.
That's right.
Along the way, and some outfits that I really loved. And for example, there's one dress I felt really great in, and feeling, like I said, is half the 90% of the battle. Okay, so then I looked at the picture. Stop wearing it, because I saw this 360. Now here's the thing: she looked at this picture and was like, I look fabulous. I love this dress. I feel awesome. And so it is so sad that people took that away from her in this instance. And we are so varied and so different to judge each other on how this is all, because in the end, look at you, you're a beautiful girl, but what did you have to do with that other than you put yourself together very well today? But the rest is sort of, it has nothing to do with who you are, how gorgeous you are. You're
today.
Rest. Oh my God. Rest is something I didn't get earlier that Rachel said. So we're going to move on to the next topic before Rachel gets in trouble.
She always looks fabulous, but I just mean, it's has nothing to do. You didn't determine your genetics. Oh my God, I'm like,
It's I gotta show with you. I'm ready.
She's still stuck on the curly hair comment.
Don't be mad. Don't be mad.
All right, let's move on.
Okay, we gotta move on. Okay. Well,
Oh my goodness.
it's my turn. So I feel really good about this story because, you know, why you make that face, Derrial?
Go ahead, I'll let you finish first.
Okay, well, finally somebody at least apologizing for doing some dumb ish. So Lee Daniels has apologized to Sean Penn. And basically, for those of you guys that don't know, at the end of late last year, Lee Daniels was commenting on his star from Empire, Terrence Howard, who had some problems. You know, he'd been through some stuff, some domestic situations, and he was arrested and was beating up his wife and got, you know.
But he got paid.
Allegedly.
But he got paid. That's right.
Allegedly.
The glove didn't fit.
The bat, you know, whatever.
Yeah, you know,
okay, anyway, Lee was referring to, he was talking about how Terrence Howard had been demonized by the media and that Terrence basically, quote, had done nothing different than Marlon Brando or Sean Penn, and all of a sudden he's some effing demon. That's a sign of the time of race of where we are right now in America. So in his mind, what he was trying to say is that the black man get the short end of the stick, but what he ended up doing is basically telling everybody and accusing Sean Penn of being
Well, his first mistake was defending Terrence, don't you think?
Girl.
No, really.
Yeah, we talked about this last year, and I was like, I mean, you know, we all know Terrence.
Everybody Terrence is a tremendous actor.
He's amazing.
Yes, he is.
I was in love with him at one point.
Stop it. Are you like those green eye boys?
No, I don't usually. Not usually, but when he turned that guitar upside down and he played, and then I found out he went to MIT. Like, it was just a whole thing. Anyway, so that being said, Sean Penn got pissed off and he sued him for defamation for $10 million. But they have now settled.
Which means that Lee paid some money.
Lee paid some money to his charity. And the work that he does in Haiti. Yes, it's the work he does in Haiti. And along with the donation, Lee Daniels was requested to, you know, submit a public apology, and apparently they collaborated on the apology because like that's a thing. But quote, Mr. Lee said in his apology, quote, "I am so sorry that I have hurt you, Sean, and I apologize and retract my reckless statements about you. How thoughtless of me. You are someone I consider a friend, a brilliant actor, and a true Hollywood legend and humanitarian. Domestic violence is a very serious issue. My comments were cavalier. It was not my intention to diminish the severity of the issue, but rather to express my view regarding the disparate treatment of men of color in our national conversation. I apologize again for the distress that this has caused you and your family. My very best, Lee Daniels."
Okay, and scene. Okay, so here's my thing.
All right,
if he was not sued, he would not be making that public apology.
Right.
Let's be honest about that. And for two, if they're such good friends, then why the hell did you make that statement originally? I wouldn't want you as my friend if that's what you say about me.
Honey, we ain't friends.
Do you give Lee
I love
respect for doing this, for actually recanting, or do you not respect him for actually recanting?
I don't respect him for recanting. To me, if you're gonna say it, even though there's a lawsuit, then go all balls out and commit to it, and that's what you feel. And you can say, "Sean, I'm sorry, I was speaking out of turn, but that's still how I feel about it," and keep it moving.
Yeah, it just took a little too long.
And because if he really felt, I feel like if he really felt that it was a real apology, it would have happened way before. It would have happened like right afterwards.
And there would be coin involved.
And you know what I'm saying? So
the moral of the story:
don't believe it.
Money solves everything.
Money solves
Is that the moral of the
problems,
story?
and you don't
right
want to
here?
get your ass sued. Is what it
Just don't talk
means.
shit about people. How about that?
Yeah,
That's
it's like you could have
probably
made your
a good
point
moral.
without putting Sean Penn's name in your
Right.
mouth. Like, or you could have just used Marlon because Marlon's dead. So maybe you just say Marlon Brando and you don't say Sean Penn, or you just say white men.
You just blanket statement.
Yeah.
A white man wouldn't have been demonized
Just
like
start a
that.
war.
They would have
Right.
War
wondered
right there.
what was going on with his psychology, and nobody's questioning
You went all the way in.
Sure, you just didn't mean like whitey in general.
just been like,
white men.
No, just white men. Caucasian.
I think what's interesting about that statement is he was right. He was cavalier.
Yes.
That's the one word that I'm like, that's
Yeah.
truthful. But I'm waiting for the remix.
I think it's going to be over with now. I think it's done and over
I
with,
think it's
especially
done.
since, the charities involved and all that stuff. Now, I applaud Lee for sticking up for Terrence because, as we know, obviously the black men do tend to get the bad rap of things in society and in
And
social
that's his
media.
point. And that's his point.
But on the flip side of that, can we really defend Terrence?
that
Because
why you're
I think he just makes bad choices of his women.
Of all the things we could stick up for black men for, we're going to choose Terrence Howard beating on his wife and ex-wife or whoever to stand up for it. Come on, Lee.
Allegedly.
Terrence Howard and I were doing a sitcom together in the 90s, like just guesting, and he was like, I'll pick you up because I didn't have a car and I couldn't drive. And so he pulls up to this suburban neighborhood and he's blasting rap at like 11 at 7:15 in the morning. And I was like, Terrence, you have to turn that down. Why? Okay, never mind.
Stuff for a pimp?
Hard out here for
But I do get that Terrence rules with his own set of
He's
rules.
one of those,
I think he is super genius, but I think he's not probably as genius as he thinks because ultimately if he was, he would still be an Iron Man. He would still have a lot of the opportunities that he had. And again, I think he's one of our top actors. I really do. But I think he has...
he made some interesting choices.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of interesting choices, BH1 has made another one.
Oh, she paused, everyone. What do you got?
I'm gonna get
Hold on. Let me.
Drink that whole cup of Folgers right there.
So apparently, y'all, millions of women are inspired by Amber Rose, and for now, she will have a weekly talk show on VH1. Yes. It's going to be produced by Dr. Phil McGraw and his son's Stage 29 production company, and consulting on that will be Mona Scott Young.
Oh, listen to that team.
You better make
Listen
me nervous.
to
I thought you were about to say
that
Oprah. It was going to kill it for me if you said
No,
Oprah.
but she's
It's an
2 seconds
extension.
a week.
Yeah, that's an extension.
Right.
But the thing I learned from this is like I'm just not like I don't know naked enough. I don't ass clap in front of a camera enough. Like these are the things I'm learning to get on
This I have to read the general manager Chris McCarthy's entire quote. He's the general manager of VH1. Just because you know what, when I was like, they were like Amber Rose got a job. I'm like, you know what, good Amber Rose. You don't have to get back on the pole. You can go do whatever. You getting some TV. I'm happy for you. But then I read the quote from the Durham manager, and this is what he said. Amber has inspired millions of young women by overcoming homelessness to become a wildly successful entrepreneur, a true multi-hyphenate. She is a devoted mother, a strong advocate for women's rights, and a celebrated author, all of which make her an ideal host. Amber is a perfect addition to the VH1 family, though, which I agree with, because our audience is interested in hearing unique perspectives from those who are unapologetically themselves and not afraid to stand on issues they are passionate about. Okay. Multi-hyphenate, wildly successful. You are inspiring millions of women.
Are these all the words that you're having a problem with?
Yeah, you disagree?
Yeah, I'm confused.
If you're successful, you have a lot of Instagram followers, likes, and you're on the Shade Room.
You were clapping your cheeks after you gave birth to show that you can clap your cheeks on the internet. So great. That's inspiring, and that's
you call out Kim
feminism.
Kardashian
I
with
think
things.
it's woman to woman. Like it's hard. She's a tricky thing because I don't want to put her down.
That's just that good.
I'm just saying.
No, it's a tricky situation because on one hand she's right. Like I don't want to slut shame her or any of those things. Like I mean, my God, we as women should be able to go out and do whatever we want and not be judged. Absolutely. But on the other hand, I hate that she's sending young women the message that just being naked is feminism equals feminism in today's world, and that's just not what feminism was about, and I hope that this isn't where we're going with millennials.
Also, I feel like at first, because Courtney sent me the story first, and I was just like, okay, actually I could see it if it was a daytime show and you had Dr. Phil hosting it with Amber Rose. So almost like
why would he do that?
She's the millennial.
He ain't gonna stand next to her.
I understand that.
That would be interesting.
But you're gonna produce trash. Like, I mean, here's why I say that, because when you pull Mona Scott in, Mona Scott irritates my life because you create television.
Irritates his
Because I think that she knows better, and you create television that feeds children and young adults.
She's taking that check, bro.
And I understand what she's doing.
That's what she.
But you know what I mean. But you also have to sleep at night, and
She's sleeping pretty well.
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she sleeps
But
very
what
well.
about all the women who agree to go on her shows. Like that's the other thing. Is there are a lot of women
are you
who go,
putting them with therapists and say, you know what I mean? Like, do you care about these people? Like,
No.
I understand that, but it's just like it's more so as far as coming into this entertainment world. I feel like it's doing something with a purpose versus just doing it. I feel like we're seeing a lot of people who are just doing stuff and there's no purpose behind it. And so to me, I can't even imagine what this show is going to be, what they're going to try and...
Hold on.
Yeah, I'd like to know a little bit more
This
about
was
this show,
Amber
please.
Rose's quote for what the show is going to be about. And like, she goes, "I'm very excited to be joining forces with such an amazing network to deliver a fresh perspective on a primetime talk show. Join us as we break all the rules and redefine late night. Watch out, Fallon. Here comes Mova."
Like Cocktails with Chloe
she's
Part 2.
redefining late night and giving a fresh perspective.
Well, it's good she doesn't have an inflated sense of self or anything like that.
She's got inflated something else.
Well, I think Amber is necessary right now. She represents an entire type of person, pretty much, that has social media and has used it to gain fame, notoriety, and to get a talk show on VH1 produced by Dr. Phil. She's speaking a voice that we haven't heard from before. Yes, we got to know her from Wiz and from Kanye, but what I love about Amber's whole, I guess, energy right now is she's raising
It's her
questions.
big old tiggies, right?
Well, but she's bringing questions up that Beyonce wouldn't bring up, that Kim Kardashian would not bring up, that anyone else wouldn't. Like the slut shit.
You mean, but what about like journalists who went to school and studied? For
You need
all
to
of
have the
this?
yin and yang in life. You need to have both. You have to have both.
Hence why I think Dr. Phil and Amber Rose on the same. That should be a podcast.
I actually
show.
kinda like
I'm with
every
you, though.
Monday.
I would
listen
love
to
to see
that.
Well, I would
I
like
don't know
to see
Dr.
who
Phil,
they're.
but maybe somebody that is,
She's like total polar opposite. I think it would
Correct.
be really interesting
It kinda
to see
could
those
work.
points of view, right?
talking to each
But
I
other.
would
feel like
like
he-
to see who they put her with. Like,
I feel like he would end up giving her therapy.
I don't think she's going to be
Dr.
with
Phil would give
any.
her.
She's going to be by herself.
she's
No,
by herself.
there's like a Fallon.
Well, they're going to surround her because we saw Cocktails with
some
Chloe. It
guests.
might not have been as successful with all the star power she had, but this one, I mean, being on VH1, putting in
Well, I
Mona
feel like
Scott
she's going to be the
and putting
host
her
reunion
in
for
that-
Love and Hip Hop. Like that's definitely.
Pretty much. She's going to be,
Yeah.
yes,
Which
yes,
is fine.
panel
Which is
discussions.
great.
I think
Pretty
someone
much.
has a little crush on Amber.
Well, no, I think I'm all for changing the conversation because it's been so stale, me being in entertainment and then me watching entertainment
But who's
the
gonna
same for so long.
who's gonna control that? Because here's my thing: Love and Hip Hop. I think there is a positive out of putting it on television because I think that it puts real life. I have friends that go through the stuff that I watch on there. I've been through some of the stuff on there, but the thing is, there's no positive discussion afterwards. So kids watch this and they think, oh well, screw that bitch because she's sleeping with my man. I'm gonna be with him. But they believe this because they're watching it on TV. So it kills me because now we have someone who is going to have the conversation.
Oh yeah.
But still keep it in that light. We're not having this different conversation and then throwing Oprah in there and having, okay, well here, this isn't right, or you know what I mean? Like just
The
having
voice of
this-
reason.
Yeah, and
well, you know
that's
what? They might
bothers
do
me.
it. We might be surprised.
That's
We
why I
might
got
be
excited.
surprised.
I
I
really
think we might be
surprised, but-
surprised that Amber actually can be a voice of reason.
She's engaging, by the way.
She is engaging,
yeah,
and
yeah.
when she interviewed with the Breakfast Club or somebody, she was when she was on Reverend Run and
Oh, and
Tyrese's
Tyrese's
show,
show, yeah.
and sort of talking about that. Like, I don't think the girl is dumb or anything like
No.
that. I think she has something to give for sure. My question is that if you're going into this with the idea that this is like the inspiration for young women and this is our example of feminism and you are not going to balance that in any way,
I want
then I'm
Malala to have a talk
concerned.
show. You know what I'm saying? I'm much more interested in that than I am.
I'm hoping as they develop it, like you said, that there will be some balance
Yeah,
into
hopefully,
it.
hopefully.
But
But-
I feel like because it's VH1, because Mona Scott's
Yeah.
involved, what's going to be exploited is the very thing that she's actually claiming to be trying to shift the
Let's just
conversation.
remember,
conversation.
though, it hasn't been on the air, and I think once it's on air, we can have a
Yeah,
really
correct,
great
true.
conversation about this, because who knows, she may go in an awesome direction with it, she may go in the direction we think, and my feeling is, if she goes in that direction that we think it's going to go, and it's not going to be around for that long. Because we are still in the wild, wild west of, like, what do we do with these YouTube celebrities? What do we do with these people of 8 million followers, and yet they can't string more than 4 sentences together because they're used to super quick clips, you know? And then there's people like Tyler Oakley, who's super charming, and I see why he's getting a talk show on, I think it's
Ellen
Ellen's
DeGeneres.
Digital
Digital
Network.
Network, yeah.
I get it. He's like your gay best friend. I mean, I want to hang out with them, right? So I get that we're just in the infancy of how do we take this, make money off these people, and have longevity. So we'll see. And she's lasted longer than her allotted 15 minutes.
Correct.
Yeah, she has. She knows how to push the buttons, so.
Have a baby.
All right, well, we'll see what Amber brings. We're going to move on to the eUroWeb Story Spotlight of the Week.
I was like, where's that?
Yeah, where's the Vogue music? Where's Justin Hires? All right, well, breaking news, everybody. Janet Jackson is pregnant at 50.
She's not 50. She's 49. 360 days.
Had that ready.
In like 2 weeks, she'll be 50.
So in 2 weeks, she will be pregnant with a child at 50.
At 50.
But unfortunately,
Here's
she is
what
not.
I have to say, like, I'm around Janet's age, and I'm really jealous. I can admit it. I'm totally envious of her because you actually have to get pregnant at 49, you have to have Janet Jackson's money. You have to have the ability to go to doctor after doctor. Maybe she didn't, by the way. Don't know her personal journey, but I'm imagining most women at this age. So I'm jealous because I would have loved to have had a baby at this age, but I can't because I don't have no Janet Jackson money. But I say that's amazing for her, and why not? And I think there's people who critiqued it. Why? What's it to you?
Well, so what people are complaining about, they're saying, is she too old to be a mother at this stage? Because they're saying when the
shut
baby's
up with
20,
your
she's going to be
opinions,
70. But when the baby's 20, she'll be, or it won't be a
And at
baby.
20, the
also-
baby will be able
but
to fly out with lots of money.
Sure,
And,
especially.
Now we have to also take a moment here. We're talking about Janet Jackson.
Yes.
This is a person I will never doubt. If I grew up and my brother was Michael Jackson and I had the gall to go into that business and then dominate, Janet dominated. That was one thing, okay? Second, after the Super Bowl, I'm just skipping forward. After what happened to her, she got blackballed from everything. And still is here. Went to movies, went to television, not music. And now she's going to defy nature. Go, Janet.
Nature. You go, Janet.
Just keep going.
Yeah,
Just
like
keep
men
going.
have been defying nature forever. That's why I think the critique of her is insane. Like 80-year-old guys have babies all the time,
But do
and
you-
so she's doing it.
But do you think that she
Janet.
froze her eggs for like 10 years ago and she's
That's true.
pulling
By the
those
way,
eggs
if
back out?
you are in your mid-30s
That's what I feel like. That's what I
and you
feel like
don't
she
have
did.
a steady, freeze your eggs, ladies. It's true. If you want to have a baby
But
and
it's
you're in
so
your 30s, freeze your
expensive.
eggs.
It's like $10,000.
Wait, we have to talk about what's really important
You owe
here.
it by
Wait, we have to.
Mercedes, then.
What are we
Okay,
gonna?
don't
What is she
freeze
gonna
your
name the
eggs.
kid? What are we gonna name the kid? The most important question.
I think we're gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave
It'll
that
be
up
like
to
a really-
Janet.
She's leaving it to
It'll be
Janet.
like
I know
a,
y'all
like,
got something.
Middle
to say.
Eastern name.
I think it's going to be like a Middle Eastern name.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
But
beautiful child, too.
My question is, because there was still rumors like that it was confirmed by a source close to the family, but not by Janet. So it's still possible that there's a surrogate.
I mean, yeah, there could be a surrogate, and she did
And
just drop.
adoption.
And
Is there
adoption.
something wrong with that?
No, not at all. It's just that everybody was making it like, oh my
She's
God,
carrying the
she's
baby.
carrying a baby
Well,
and she's
listen,
50. We
we'll
don't
know
know
soon
that.
enough.
You
Right,
know?
we'll know soon
We don't
enough.
know.
But you guys-
she might go into hiding.
Sure.
I don't think it's long off before that is commonplace, though, people. So get used to it. At a certain point, they are going to perfect the uterus transplant, or they're going to find something that makes the cells last longer.
Whoa.
So
I don't think it's gonna be in our lifetime because I was just talking to my gynecologist and she was like, "Girl, I don't know why everybody else be living longer and everything, but the uterus and them eggs, they just
they're
want to
tired.
die.
Here we go.
They just don't want to live.
Y'all
They
only
just
get a
want
chance
to
to so long.
die."
no, it's true. They're like powdered at
They're
this
like,
point.
we're
Like
totally
seriously.
fine, running around looking
Wow.
maybe
It's true.
70 and
Well,
they're dust.
Well, Janet did make a statement, so I think this is kind of Janet's statement, even though you're saying a family source was the one who revealed
was a source close to
She's
them.
got a new video out called Damn Baby, and we're going to play a little clip of this video. This is a woman at 50 years old looking like she's like 25. All right, Janet.
She looks great, but my question is, why, when she can actually sing, is it filtered to High Holy Hell?
Because they want it to
sound of today.
sound
They want it to
very
sound-
on trend right
Yeah,
now.
trend-
Because it
sound
definitely
today, yeah.
sounds like whatchamacallit.
That's true, but like I could sing then. I mean, if this is what it
we
is.
all can.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
there's one Janet.
There's one Janet.
one
She
Janet.
looks
And she looks-
amazing.
She's really hard.
I'm happy right now. I can't stop smiling.
She's gorgeous.
I can't stop
And
smiling.
don't get it twisted. Her album Unbreakable is awesome.
It's
Have you
doing
guys
really
listened to
well.
it? Yeah,
I went to the
was
tour.
surprised.
I went to the tour
Oh, you
when she
did?
was here.
How was she in person?
Okay, so I'm
She
gonna,
was mad because she didn't have her tatas out.
Yeah, I'm gonna critique it a little bit. So,
Okay.
Thank you, Zach, for that video. So, with Janet and her tour, I've seen her probably 6 times, all
Okay.
the tours. This is my least favorite, or this was my least favorite, Unbreakable, because I felt like she should have. There was no theatrics to it the way it used to be, where she would change with certain songs and it was certain outfits and certain themes. She kept the same outfit on the entire show. And
Whoa, the whole show?
It took away the sexiness to me personally.
Because it was like a coat.
Because it was, and she was very clothed, very similar to what she was wearing in the video.
She is married to a Middle Eastern man.
Right.
She
Or
man.
was she pregnant?
No,
Was she pregnant? Are you saying it wasn't baggy?
Because
her weight's been snatched on that.
Okay.
Like a peplum and like ruffles and all that.
No, I think it is the Middle Eastern thing.
I think
That's what they say. It's her husband didn't want her to go on tour dressed
She ain't gonna be doing
But she's also
for you half naked.
But she's also independent right now.
Oh,
musically.
label-wise.
So
yeah,
think about it.
yeah.
It's not, it's
she's
not
on
the
her own
90s.
label.
That's right.
Rhythm Nation Records or whatever.
It's not the 90s. That big tour budget used to be.
That's true.
And she was, as I said before, she was blacklisted a while ago. So
was.
maybe that one outfit was the recession budget, Janet. You got?
It could be. It could be. It is possible.
I think she's
she's
like, I'm
still
tired. I'm
beautiful.
gonna do this for y'all. But like, I ain't changing like 18 times. I'm not coming up with like 16 different stage moves. Like, we just gonna do this and this, and it's gonna be good enough.
And it was a great show. It was just my least favorite. But you know what? Congrats to Janet.
And I want us to give her a shout out because I've met a lot. We've all met a lot of celebrities in town and whatever. But I ended up at like in the loo at a party next to her, and I was like, oh my God, it's Janet Jackson. I'm like Janet Jackson, and I just looked over, and she looked fabulous, right? So I said, that top looks fabulous on you, and she said, no, thank you. And I said, and her abs were out, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll have those abs next life. And she was like, next life? Why next life? This life. Everything can happen in this life. And it was so sweet because most celebrities, when you meet them, are like, thank you. I know.
It's all about me.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they fuck off and they don't deal with you. And she was just, I thought, that really is her essence. She's like saying, no, whatever you want, it can be done. And I think that's something that everyone should realize.
She was present. I love that. She was
present and able to interact, which, I guess shouldn't be enough to be complimented on. But when you come from
How sad is that?
But when you come
in that
from that world, the fact that she was not completely, because I've met a lot of people and they can only talk about themselves.
Right.
That's it. And they're really awkward out in public as celebrities. And the thing I always tell them is, why don't you ask people some questions?
Yeah.
How about that? Just don't talk only about yourself.
That's
ask
true.
people about themselves.
Well, shout out to Janet and congratulations. Our last story of the day is, I'm very happy about this. We've all been talking about the Hamilton production, the Broadway play that's been going on. That's selling out.
Yeah.
It's about to come to LA. It's coming to LA.
Next year.
Yeah. Well, we just found out that they were nominated for 16 Tony Awards. Woo! So they say this is probably the most diverse production that's ever happened on Broadway ever. So it's, if you don't know about Hamilton, you need to go check it out. It's the hip hop musical about America's first Treasury Secretary. So the key is obviously focusing in on Alexander Hamilton and his life and death and that type of thing. But it is killing it right now. So
and they broke the record.
They broke the record.
Most nominations. Yeah.
So we have a little clip here we're going to play on our way out, but we'll show you guys if you haven't seen anything about it, but you should check it out.
I'm laughing in the face of casualties of sorrow. For the first time I'm thinking past tomorrow.
So that's a little clip of it. You can see more on BlackHollywoodLive.com.
I love that they got in trouble for their casting notice where they were like ethnic people only. Which, by the way, as an actor, I have dealt with those whites only forever.
Yes.
So the fact that everyone's in an upward with their panties in a bunch made me giggle, actually.
I'm glad that it's showing society now that hip-hop, everyone, let's take a moment, that hip-hop is successful on Broadway.
Right.
Yes.
That's true.
And it's showing it in a positive way where it's, it's showing how impactful it is just in everything. And you can take that and put it in any piece and it makes it impactful.
Because if you're old enough to remember the 80s and 90s, like I do, there was all this talk about how hip-hop is dead and hip-hop is not going...
back in the day, in the 1800s.
I'm going to get my walker when we're done with this. But no, there were so many comments about how hip-hop is not going to last.
Right.
And here it is conquering the great white
And I appreciate that so much.
I heard that.
That's right.
It's true.
So, okay,
And real quick, a shout out to all those black women that got nominated
That's
for Tonys
right.
too, because there were 8 of them.
There were 8, yeah.
For Eclipsed and for Color Purple and all those women, like it was.
It's big.
Is this the anti-Oscars? The
The
anti-Oscars?
awards are going to
Seems
be
like it.
on June 12th, 2016, so tune in because there's a lot of African-American talent that are being looked at for this. So, okay, unfortunately we have to leave. The show is over. So where can fans find you, Jeremy, on social media?
Oh, I'm at Jeremy_Hassell. You can go to my show, omgossip.tv, where we talk a little bit like this, but I wish I had these beautiful people on my show all the time.
Anytime.
As well.
And what nights is it on, so everybody knows?
Wednesday from 9 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. LA time, that's what, 6 to 7 out here.
Yeah.
Skype in, talk. We never know what celebrity will be on or what celebrity we'll be talking about. Derrial's going to be on the next show,
I will
right?
be.
Yeah.
And they just go to omgossip.tv. Okay. All right. Courtney, where can fans find you?
I'm all over social media at Stuart Starlet.
Jesse?
Everywhere at DJ Jesse J.
I'm at Rachel True on Twitter, True Rachel True on Instagram, and also I do another podcast with the fabulous comedian Alec Mappa called Nooner, and that's on UBN Radio and iHeartRadio.
All right. You can find me at Derrial Christon on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all that fun stuff. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Bye!
From executives Keven Undergaro, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.